A world belt, also the WBF super lightweight U.S. title is online. We're going to get to all of that. We're going to meet all of the fighters, the promoters, trainers, and everyone who's going to be involved on that night as well. Tickets are available just to my right over here, as the lovely Julie would be able to help you out. Again, it's going to be Saturday night, April 29th, the Alliant Energy Center. Supreme Hits Boxing presents Or Else. And if you are a fight fan, a sports fan, a fan of action at all, big hits, good action fighting, you are going to want to come out to this fight. Do not miss it. You are going to see world championship caliber boxers that night. And we're going to get into all of that right now as we get a chance to meet and greet the boxers. By the way, my name is Rich Reynolds. I will be the ring announcer for the fight. You can also see me on Channel 57 in town. I am the host of the sports news. I do the play-by-play as well. You can hear my voice sometimes as well on the Zone AM 1670 and 106.7 FM as well. So we want to meet everybody that is involved with Supreme Hits and for Or Else. Again, April 29th, and tickets you can purchase to my right. We will get a chance as we go down the line right here. I want to introduce everybody first. We are going to talk to Muhammad, and Mr. Muhammad right here is the owner, promoter, president of Supreme Hits Promotions and Boxing. He is also a trainer, heavily involved in all of this and gets his fighters ready. They're always in top-notch shape. So we're very excited to have him here today, along with our pugilists, as we have Danny Torres here. Danny is going to be making his pro debut. Yeah, let's hear it for Danny Torres, as we finally get a chance to see him walk into the ring and make his pro debut. Right next to him might be a familiar face to fight fans here in Madison, as he is an ABO super welterweight lightweight, super lightweight, yes, regional champion. We got Deontay Boomaye Wilson. Deontay's going to be in the title fight that night. We're going to have more about that. Now, sitting right next to Deontay, right there in the middle, if you've followed boxing at all in Madison or in the Midwest, and soon to be around the world, you know this face, you know this fighter. He is undefeated and is putting his WBF super featherweight title on the line. Let's hear it for Dorn, the Storm. And when you see him fight, you know why they call him the Storm, as he rains blows upon his opponent. So you're going to see him fight that night in the main event. One of the co-main events sitting right next to him. He has 4 straps right now that he has. He is not putting those on the line, but he is going to display all of his talents. Fighting out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin is Dennis the Mongoose Morris. Dennis, by the way, a cruiserweight who is 13 wins, 11 by knockout. His last 7 fights, he's won all of them by KO. So an exciting fighter, and we are glad to have him on the card. I want to move around to this side so we can introduce everybody else, including another fighter who's going to be making his pro debut. Let's hear it for Kevin Garduno. And sitting next to him is a 2-time Golden Glove champion. So if you know about amateur fighting here in the state of Wisconsin, you have probably seen Brian Kuzma. And his father, who, by the way, is also very heavily involved in Supreme Hits as a trainer and helping with the promotions and everything else. Fans, let's give it up. I know his family's going to give it up for him. Good and loud. Let's hear it for Jose Kuzma. All right, once again, fans, we have a very exciting card. 7 fights on the card for the night, April 29th at the Alliant Energy Center. Or Else is the name of the promotion. Or Else. Why the name Or Else? So we're going to start down on this end as we talk to the president of Supreme Hits Boxing and the promoter, Muhammad. And why did you choose the name for this very special night of Or Else?
That's a very good question. Well, the name came from my spiritual father, the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan, when he gave a statement of justice for us. And that fit right along with what we're trying to do as a promotional company. as you know, Supreme Hits Promotions has done something completely different in the boxing world. We've made some of our professional fighters partners in the promotional company. So, or else comes from the point we're making in the boxing world to straighten things up, get it right, or else.
Or else, there you go. And a very important night of fights as well. Now, we get to showcase a couple of fighters, 3 main events on the card, and I'd like to talk more about those. So if you could, let's focus in on Deontay, on Dorn, on Dennis. What are we going to see at the top of the card that night? All right, so we have 3 very experienced fighters, 3 inexperienced fighters. So at the top of the card, we got Dorn, we got Deontay, we got Dennis. What are we going to see from our co-main events?
Excitement. The only thing that Supreme Hits put on, the only kind of fights is excitement. You're going to see skills. You're going to see men that are trained and that are spiritually, mentally, and physically ready to put on the greatest show you've ever seen.
Excellent answer. Now, at the bottom of the card, now this is always interesting to me when you get to see fighters that are making their pro debuts. Now, are these 3 fighters, it seems like, at least I know with Brian, has a very extensive amateur background. Do all the fighters come in with a lot of amateur prep? How are they going to look on the card? What do they bring that night on April 29th?
Well, actually, all 3 of our pro debut fighters are Goldie Glove champions.
Oh, wow.
So they have an extensive amateur career. They've been successful in the amateurs. So these guys are ready. They're ready to make that next step.
And such an important thing when you see all that amateur background coming in, getting those rounds and getting the experience and knowing how to train. So very important. So good stuff. We're going to see professional debuts again from Danny Torres, Kevin Garduno, Brian Guzman. Again, that is April the 29th. Supreme Hits Boxing presents Or Else at the Alliant Energy Center. Now I want to get to some of the fighters and again to a familiar face in the Madison area for those of you that know Deontay Boomaye Wilson. And Deontay, that night you're going to be fighting for the WBF Super Lightweight Championship. Now I think this is interesting and how this is all going to play out. Now your last fight in Minnesota, decision didn't go your way. So coming off a loss, why do you feel that you're entitled then to fight for a title? Why do you think you're deserving of that shot?
So, I'll begin by saying that my last fight in Minnesota, it was very controversial, but I did not lose that fight. I was robbed, as a matter of fact, and I plan on getting redemption for that loss. I will be fighting that guy again. He's already agreed to a rematch, so I will redeem myself for that fight. Secondly, WBF is giving me this title shot because they know what type of fighter I am, and from this point forward, there are no more handouts, there are no more gifts. From this point forward, I will guarantee knockouts, destruction, and I will guarantee that I'll take heads off so that I can get these wins and continue on with my boxing career the way that
Flow Sports, I got to watch it, a very, very controversial decision at the end, and it seemed like a heated kind of debate flowing with you and the boxer involved, DeLorean Calloway. Why so heated, champ, and what's going to be different, not only if you win this fight, which I'm sure you will, but then in the rematch, what do you expect to bring to him to be able to beat him in the fight? He looked pretty strong.
So first I'll say that I have a lot of respect for DeLorean Calloway. I think that he's a talented fighter, but I know my potential and I know what I should have done that night. So I will be correcting those mistakes and I will be guaranteeing to win the next time I fight him.
Excellent stuff, and if you haven't seen Boomaye fight, you are going to want to check out Deontay Boomaye Wilson. Excellent skill, and obviously on the path for redemption again, April the 29th at the Alliant Energy Center. I'm going to move on down the line a little bit here, and I had a chance to talk to this champ a little bit before we got started here today. And this is Dennis the Mongoose Morris, and now as a cruiserweight who has been on a roll, 7 straight knockouts. Talk about the fight that you have coming up now. What do you bring to the ring? What can people expect to see from you, champ?
How everyone doing?
Good.
Yeah, so I'm bringing to the table, electrical skills, talent, straight head, go out there and just explore. Take care of my business, what I train in the gym to do. So the thing is, I just can't wait. So we're gonna have a ball. And everyone that's coming out, y'all gonna see it.
All right, so coming off your last 7 fights, again, all by knockout. You get a knockout in this fight, which I'm sure is what you're going to be shooting for. What kind of steps do you expect to make in your career? You got 4 straps right now. What do you expect to be fighting for in the near future?
But it's coming out with straight knockouts. I'm heading, after this one. Hope I go in and take care of business and going for more titles. Can't say one, maybe 5. I'm trying to get all, so that's what hard work and the right promoters and everything that get you there, and I like to thank SupremeHits for having me on the show and everything, he was a very good guy, and Storm and everyone else, they all good fighters, and, I like to say thank y'all, thank all y'all for coming out, showing support and everything, so it's going to be a great show, so y'all, everyone, hey, put on your hats, we're ready, baby. Marcus 100.
Excellent. Hopefully that'll get you fired up. Let's hear it for Dennis. He's got a few more fights under his belt and has a little bit more respect, I think, world-wise, coming into this fight on April the 29th. So what does that mean for you when you go up against a guy? Obviously, this is a big step up for you.
First, it's actually a big step because as soon as I beat him, it's going to put me right on the map, right there with all the big boys out there. So,
yeah. One of the things I love about Dorn is he lets all of his talking happen in the ring. I mean, absolutely amazing. Had a fight, it was a couple fights ago, threw 1,800 punches in the fight, a record. I mean, it's amazing how fast this guy can throw his hands out there in the action that you are going to see. Dorn is 11-0-2, has been on fire. Again, is going to be defending his WBF Super Featherweight Championship. Now, for those of you that have been watching boxing lately, you see a lot of talent at the level that Dorn is at. A lot of big fights can be had out there at 128 pounds. So if we're looking ahead now, Dorn, and you're going to take care of Carlos Ruiz, what's next on the docket for you? I've heard a lot of talk, maybe No Nido Donaire.
yes, we've been calling him out. Hopefully he takes the fight because I have a lot of respect for him. He's basically my race, so someone I want to fight.
Excellent. I would love to absolutely see that. So Dorn the Storm Vu going to be at the top of the card again. Going to be defending his WBF Super Featherweight title. That is going to be April the 29th, 12 rounds of boxing. Don't think it's going to go that far though. And if you ever seen Dorn fight, you're going to know why. He has been hitting hard lately. If you missed the fight in Hinckley, his last fight, you had to watch it fast because it was over quickly as he knocked his opponent out in the second round. So again, these are the co-main events right here with Dorn, Dennis, and Deontay, April the 29th. Again, at the Alliant Energy Center. And I want to go back to Murray here because I got a question for you then. So after hearing from your fighters that are going to be fighting at the top of the card, how do you feel about those?
Well, Brian, you're going to see a devastating puncher, a true Puerto Rican fighter. You're going to see some skills and a lot of heart.
Now that fight as well, that's a Puerto Rican versus Mexican kind of fight, I believe. Is that right? Yeah. That's always a big rivalry, so that's going to be pretty exciting right there. So that's what we're going to see from Brian Guzman, April the 29th at the Alliant Energy Center. Sitting right next to him, Kevin Garduno. So let's talk about what he's going to bring, what weight he's fighting at that night as well.
Well, Kevin is fighting at 116. making his pro debut. You're going to see, once again, a lot of skill, a Mexican fighter with a lot of heart, a lot of fire in him, with an excellent jab. So I would say Kevin would be more of a boxer puncher at this point.
Boxer punchers, always fan favorites, I think. If you go to the fights, you like to see guys that like to throw and can knock people out. Okay, so right next to you too, we got Danny Torres, who is finally going to be making his pro debut. So let's talk about what Danny brings to the ring.
Predator. Danny, heavy-handed Mexican fighter. When he hits you, you know you hit. And we want to do everything we can to set that up, set that jab up, so he can land those heavy hands on his opponent. It's going to be night-night in that fight.
Excellent. So again, guys, if you would like to purchase tickets, you can do that right over here at the table. Julian standing by with tickets from April the 29th. Alliant Energy Center, Supreme Hits Boxing presents Or Else. Also, if you'd like to come and meet and greet with the boxers, maybe take some pictures, say hello, you can do that as well right after we are done, or step on up if you have a question as well. You're free to be able to do that. And before we do step aside, I would also like to throw it out here, general comments and stuff. What am I missing? So trying to set it up, I'm trying to tell the story, trying to learn a little bit about the boxers. What else does everybody need to know about April the 29th at the Alliant Energy Center?
Well, one thing I would say that you need to know is that it's history being made. You know, come out, be a part of history. You're seeing Supreme Hits top fighters, and we're constantly growing. And you know, like Dorn said, we're calling out the big guys. All our fighters are looking for the big fights. They're preparing to be your #1 fighters in the world, coming right out of Madison, right out of Wisconsin.
That's right, and everybody here representing the state of Wisconsin, the city of Madison. We got Milwaukee involved as well. Very, very cool stuff. The other thing I think, and I want to touch on this before we go, is some of the history you talk about. Dorn the Storm Vu, very historic fighter, the first Hmong champion ever as a world champion, I think is also very exciting. He's growing a huge following around the world, isn't he?
Yes, it is. Dorn's following around the world is tremendous. Just a couple of weeks ago, we did a radio interview with Australia. The week before that, I believe it was China. So Dorn's following is tremendous. We get calls, we get fans that's requesting his autograph from New Zealand. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Just his last, his championship fight, we had over 207,000 people reach out in response to Dorn. So he's growing into a huge superstar. You want to get behind this guy, this is your fight.
Absolutely. And your chance to do it April the 29th at the Alliant Energy Center. You can check out more online. Also on Facebook, Supreme Hits Boxing. It is out there. There are videos and everything. Also coming up, we're going to be back here, I believe, is that right, the night before the fight? That is going to be April the 28th for the weigh-ins. And you'll be able to see the official weigh-ins and see the boxers all once again before fight night, Saturday night, April the 29th at the Alliant Energy Center. So, does anybody questions? If anybody would like to ask a question, now would be the time to do it. Please come on up.
Question for Deontay. In your last fight, I thought you were robbed. I thought your skills were incredible in that last fight, but a little defensive. Are you going to showcase any other skills, and are you training differently for that? Thank you.
So the question basically, and you were able to show off those defensive skills. What else are we going to see in this fight, Tim?
I won't say specifically what I will do, because it's going to be a surprise for my opponent. But what I will say is that there will not be a question of judges here in that fight. I'm going to be a lot more aggressive. I'm going to take the win.
And a solid attitude there. For those of you that have watched a fight or boxing in history, sometimes you don't want to leave it in the hands of the judges. So always good to go ahead and finish it off yourself. So good news to hear that from Deontay Brumaye Wilson. Anybody else, if you'd like to ask a question, comments for the fight, April the 29th, Saturday night, The doors will open at 6 o'clock. The fight will start at 7 o'clock. That is the first bell, so that is good stuff. We hope to see everybody out again Saturday, April the 29th at the Alliant Energy Center. Yes, you got a comment down here, please.
Yes, I'd like to say thank you everyone for coming, for support us fighters, my family here too. So we are the house to win the champions. That's it.
Absolutely. Nice job, Jose. And again, these fighters, they live for this stuff. They put in so much work. It's blood, it's sweat, and tears, and what goes into it. To see those guys come out in the shape that they come out in and what they have to do and sacrifice to get to that level is actually pretty amazing. So please, come on out, support your local fighters. Again, April the 29th, you will not be disappointed. Lots of action. We will have knockouts. We will have great stuff coming from these guys, I am sure. April the 29th. Supreme Hits presents or else. Yes, sir.
I would actually like to hear what the pro debut guys have to say.
Okay. Awesome. Let's go on down the line and let's talk first with Danny Torres then. So Danny, big night coming up for you, making your pro debut. What are you going to showcase?
Well, I'm going to bring destruction, I'm going to bring talent, and I'm going to dominate my opponent that night. It's going to be a great show.
Love it. Good attitude coming from Danny. And how about Kevin Bardugo over here? Kevin, what are you going to bring us on Fight Night?
First of all, I want to say thank you to Coach Muhammad and Supreme Hits Promotion for putting me on this card. What I'm going to bring April 29th is heart and destruction, like Danny said. I have the tools to bring a knockout, so I'm going for the knockout. Thank you.
Excellent. One more fighter making his pro debut with his dad by his side. Here's Brian Guzman. Brian, talk about Fight Night.
This is a fight that I'm really excited for. I want to thank all my family and my friends and all you great people that came out to come support us. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and sacrifice that goes into this. And this fight specifically, I'm going to come out and I'm going to try and finish this fight as fast as possible. I'm definitely prepared to go the distance. I'm definitely ready to go and be there and take home the W for everybody. Gracias a toda mi gente. Vamos a poner a Puerto Rico en alto. Vamos a demostrarle a esta gente de que somos hechos los boricua. It's not something that you guys want to sleep on and miss. So be there, April 29th.
Absolutely. Isn't it great to have boxing right here in the great city of Madison? And you've got to come out and support these fighters and show them that you love the sport of boxing here in Madison, Wisconsin. We want to keep bringing it to you, bringing you champs that we have here, guys making their debuts, all the action that you love to see when it comes to boxing. Again, Saturday night, April 29th, Alliant Energy Center. We do hope to see you there. You can get tickets here. You can get them, I'm guessing, too, online. Lots of ways to find out. Again, follow Supreme Hits Boxing and you will be able to see how to get the tickets. Again, Fight Night, April the 29th. Hope to see you then. Last words? Anybody? All right, we're good to go. We got one more.
Thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you for your support.
Absolutely, I echo that sentiment. We thank you all for coming out. We will see you at the weigh-in Friday right here at the Red Rock. That is going to be April the 28th. That is a Friday. And then April the 29th. Fight night. Doors open at 6. The first bell is at 7 o'clock. Saturday night, April the 29th. Or else. Don't miss it. Thank you.
Good luck. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Did Mahomes do that move as well? It's not an issue. He did everything else.
I'm playing against that one in the best. And I've had my fingers taken from there. And every time I lay a body, I hit my finger.
And let me just give Thank you for this great card. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you.
Well deserved.
Yes.
Give the fans what they deserve.
Thank you, sir.
They set that one up. They sure did. That's that slip play on the down screen.
Wisconsin Almost a turnover there, but so much balance. 18 points in the paint, 18 from the three-point line, and right here, just a little great awareness. A slip play, some confusion by Northwestern. Able to get the easy basket. If you make a mistake defensively,